Alright, we should be, yay, we are recording. Alright. I actually, very, very slightly, doesn't really count, broke my rule that I don't launch the game when I'm not recording. Which, by the way, the game is Going Medieval, Cubes provided by Tinsley PR. Because I'm sure it's a Windows update that broke it. But I managed to fix it. The issue that I have been having since when the Windows updates, because I'm playing on the laptop that has an integrated GPU on the CPU and a discrete GPU, right? Well, since an update, every time I was opening up OBS, it would go ka-chunk, essentially, as it would switch between them. Okay? So I went in and I previously had set it. What research is it? Probably not what I care about. I had previously set it so that OBS should run on the internal GPU, and that worked fine. Because there's no reason for it to spin up the discrete GPU. That would be a waste of power. The heck? What are you talking about? I should absolutely. It says I have 46 of 50. You say I have none. Oh. I forgot. That's... yeah. Because we cannot have intelligently designed things here. Anyway, yeah, so I had set in Windows to always use the integrated GPU. That still gave me the ka-chunks. All right, let me try the discrete GPU. That's giving me the ka-chunks even worse. And it was also funny because it was like it would ka-chunk over to the discrete GPU, which changes the whole screen. Like the brightness becomes a little bit off because the color profile is a little different between them, it seems. It also like changed where windows are, and then would ka-chunk back. Now, when closing OBS, it wouldn't do that. If it was set to the discrete GPU, then it would ka-chunk on both sides. So I'm going through, and I then set it. What the heck? Now, look at this. These can't be built. Those can't be. It's the same thing. So I set it to just let Windows decide. Now it works fine. It doesn't do ka-chunking either way. And see, there's no FPS marker. Now it's actually able to hook. It's able to hook into the game properly. So some change impacted that thing. And just by setting it to the default of letting Windows decide, which normally Windows is stupid, I wouldn't want to do that. But doing that took care of it. Yeah. But I did launch the game to make sure it was connecting at all, and also to see how the ka-chunks were going. But yeah, it's kind of wild. And actually, hang on, I want to check something. Just be certain. Okay, it looks... not sure why I got that note. Okay, good. I just wanted to confirm I am seeing GPU usage on the discrete GPU. It's not like it also put the Going Medieval there. Because it doesn't go ka-chunk when I launched that. Maybe because... I don't know why, actually. Anyhow, but it is going to the discrete GPU. It is doing exactly what it should be doing. The ka-chunks are something that should not be happening. It's switching from one display adapter to the other. That should not be happening. Like AMD Smart Graphics, they do have enabled it says it's seamless, so it should just be using whichever is most appropriate and feeding into a muxer that takes both inputs and just changes which input it's using instead of changing the output. So, yeah, all kinds of weirdness. But hey, it is working, so I'm happy. I got something else I'm happy about too. There was, by the way, like no news to talk about. There is one thing that I just wrote up and put up on the site. Leon Lee announcing, well, no, it is actually available at Newegg now. New Power Supply series. That is interesting. If you're hungry, go eat. There is plenty of food. Yeah, there's plenty of food. There should be, hang on. There should be actually lots of food. I don't know why it seems to be this little. Anyway, you're an idiot if you're not eating. I got the fish, I got the packaged meal, but there should... Maybe it's just this stuff needs to be collected. Anyhow, so I know I've talked... Oh, wait, no, let me finish talking about the Leon Lee thing. So yeah, the new Edge Gold series of power supplies, they already have an Edge series that has an L shape to that. That's kind of interesting. So the idea there is, instead of the normal just box shape to a power supply, it has an L shape where there's a portion that sticks out, and that's where the main connectors go into. Which makes sense for some case designs. That'll make it easier to access those, easier to push in as well. But they added something else to it as well. This isn't mine, is it? No, it's not. Do that. It also has on the where you'd normally have the plugs on the Edge version, the older version, it had a bank of USB. It basically had an integrated USB hub, specifically with the use of like driving RGB devices, since those can use USB for power and control. This new Edge Gold series still has that, but it's on a separate daughter board, essentially. It's a modular component that you can take out and actually attach somewhere else in the case. And also has 6 fan headers, PWM fan headers. So it's actually pretty neat what they did there. I don't know if that's necessarily ever what I would go to myself, but that specific design, I don't know how... I don't know much about Leon Lee power supplies. But still, I mean, it's like that is a really neat innovation there. So it was fun writing that up. You're just happy? Okay. Oh wait, no, wait. I don't remember what green means. And it's not like it tells you anyway. I mean, mood is neutral, but he's green. Does that mean he's sick? No, it means he's actually happy. Alright. But yeah, so there's that. It's been... Last week there was like no news. This week, that was it. Let's see. Ah, okay. But no, this week, one thing that was neat for me, so because I have the money, I have the server, and I want this stuff, it's like, a lot of my collection of media, movies and television, a fair amount of it is, things that, like my childhood, kind of growing up stuff. Well, one thing that I ordered that's actually not so much my childhood, but I really do enjoy it, I watch it more so today, a television series that it's one of those, well, I ordered it earlier this week and already arrived, a complete series on DVD that the copyright listed is from 2012. This thing is not in print anymore. But it actually not only arrived today, pretty quick, it looks like it's actually all new. Like all the DVD boxes, all the DVD cases, I have to open. I have to take the plastic wrap off of. So that's actually really neat. Hopefully that means that they're all in good shape, because if there's any that aren't, I don't know what I'll do. Like, I don't know how I could replace them. But no, it's definitely really, really neat to see that. What are people doing, actually? I mean, okay, there's... But yeah, so that's really neat. It's going to take me a while to go through all that. I've got no idea where I'm going to stick them. Stick the DVDs when I'm done. But yeah, it was just one of those things where I decided to finally order them, because I dislike that there is stuff like that that can disappear. That because seriously, no one is... Just is so focused on the food, they're not doing the other stuff, because steward is all the way down here, when I would much rather have it up higher. So let me do that. It'll actually take care of some stuff, except construct. Anyhow, but yeah, it's just one of those things. It annoys me that this stuff can disappear because it goes out of print, and no one then bothers with trying to continue it. I mean, yes, stuff can be available streaming, but I mean, let's also be real. Streaming can be shit quality. It can be. It also varies because sometimes the connection is poor, and that can be on your end. That can also be on their end. Like I know there's some stuff I've watched streaming just in the past week, even that, yeah, the quality would spontaneously drop, and it's my connection should be fine. It most likely was their connection, the server. So, yeah. I think I put this here, by the way, for the wolf to be able to eat. Anyway, so having my own copy is the only way to ensure I will have access to stuff and actually at good quality as well. So I always encourage physical media. And the fact that I can then, put on Jellyfin, which is very easy to do, by the way. I do. If you have a media library and if you don't mind taking the time to pull the stuff off of the discs and such, to build it up onto a computer, Jellyfin's very easy to have running. One thing I got my dad for, well, the thing I got my dad for his retirement was actually a mini PC. That 4 terabyte SSD I also put in that, so that he can put a lot of his library onto that, and it just runs Jellyfin. It's Windows. We have Jellyfin, the Jellyfin server running in Windows there, but it's great. So we can just access all that stuff, and it will be at whatever quality we set it to be. Because it's on the internal network, we don't have to worry about it spontaneously decreasing in quality because, oh, your connection's poor. It's like, well, I mean, it can be a full gigabit or a higher connection if we want it to be. It's a really, really nice system. Yeah, I'm just gonna push that up so hopefully that stuff gets taken care of. My brain turned off a little bit. But yeah, just physical media is nice. What I wish would happen would be you have somehow, I don't know if it would have to be like an independent group or just some of these companies. Warner actually does this. This is the Warner Archive, where if you want to order a what is this? Okay. If you want to order a movie that's in the Warner Archive, it actually, even though it's Blu-ray, it gets burned for you at that time. It's essentially made on demand, produced on demand, which is awesome, because that means they don't have to worry about, for some of their back catalog, they don't have to worry about maintaining a supply in a warehouse, which can get expensive, especially when you don't know how much these things will sell, but you still have them available to people. And it might be a little bit more expensive than if it were in a warehouse, but I mean, some of the stuff is if you want it and that's the way to get it, then that's the way you get it. I mean, it's what you got to do. But yeah, so I'm really happy that this that I ordered, that I'm certain it's not in print anymore, not only came apparently new old stock, or old new stock, depending on how you want to look at it, but it actually, for whatever reason, that they decided for this complete set to include a box that has it's the show is The Rifleman, so it's a classic Western, and in it the kid Mark McCain, one of his favorite things is rock candy. Well, it includes 4 pieces of rock candy in there, and it's like, that's actually really neat and does help confirm that yes, this is actually new-ish, new unopened, not new because it's like that rock candy is probably over a decade old. That's okay. That's okay. Because I mean, I'm happy to have the sets, and that's a really neat thing to have with it, essentially. They'd never do that, are they? Yeah, I'll even push mine up, and it still almost certainly will not be done. It can even do that. It'll still get to them very early on because, oh wait, no, there. Because mine is, once that gets done, they'll be doing the other things. But yeah, just the welds just seem absolutely to be horribly designed. horribly implemented, I should say. Yeah, it's like, look, they're doing hauling, which is the same level as mining, but after, so clearly it's not doing things properly. Well, sorry, the wells clearly are not well designed because they can't get in there to do the thing that they need to do to make the wells viable. And I'm going to leave it like that because that's trying to think of the best way to put it, the best words. Because basically, I want to insult the developers, but I don't want to be that insulting. So I do want to insult them because this should never have been allowed. Somebody should have tested and seen that you can't mine out a well underneath the structure, but you can build a structure where you would need to. Somebody should have noticed that, reported it, and then somebody else be like, okay, yes, we're going to change that. That is absolutely what should have happened. This should never have gone through any level of... Now, it potentially should not have even gone to QA. This should have been like even just an engineer is sitting there, he's first implemented, just testing and see what happens. At that level, it should have been seen. This is so... we don't think through what we're doing level of stupid. But to be fair, it's early access, and it is something that can be fixed. I'm just upset that it even came to early access at this level. Wow, the form is tanking. I do kind of wonder how this will play if I wasn't recording at the same time. But that's not something to worry about at the moment. So that stuff will never get done. I might actually be able to leave it where it is at the moment. That map. Yeah. I'm just considering I could just ding put everything up by one. I don't really feel like doing it. It won't change much, but yeah. Because I mean, it's just looking at this. Part of the reason why this is such a mess is it's not even like, oh well, only put the people that are good at this stuff. That changes over time. So at some point, Alicia is just going to be perfect for everything, and it's just yeah. This is a terrible system. It really is. It needs to be condensed. You need to have a chore system where things essentially get scripted. This should also be scripted. How do we not... What? Hey. You know what? I'm going to do that. But yeah, I mean, this... It needs such an overhaul to the job system tech and also the schedule. Because I do think you need to have a chores thing where somebody goes around and does the steward stuff, but it's like, no, you do it at this time. And then maybe also at this time. It is so weird to me that this absolutely should have a chores system, and it doesn't. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm really happy I got the rifleman, and that's currently pulling that off onto the test system. I will then go through and get to processing and be able to watch it whenever I want and be very, very happy. I mean, it's a good show. What else can I say? It is a good show, and it is streaming. Roku has it. I don't remember where. Amazon Prime might have it as well. I don't quite remember. My brain just turned off slightly. Oh yeah, that's right. It is also MeTV. If you have that in your area, they play it every day. Actually, I'm not sure about Sunday. Monday through Friday, they definitely play it. I think that's at 3. And then they also play it on Saturday. I just don't remember the time. That might be like 4 o'clock. But yeah, it's a nice, classic Western, good morality play type stuff as well. I mean, it's absolutely one of those, it would be safe for basically any child to watch. is there some level of violence, as the Rifleman kind of implies? The title itself kind of implies. Yeah, but it's, the kind of violence that, good guys punch bad guys sometimes. It's kind of like that. And yes, and people also do get shot, but it's, classic Western being shot where there's no blood and they just kind of go flying backwards over tables, spin around onto the ground, things like that. So, I guess there might be blood in some cases, but that's when, like, you shoot somebody in the hand kind of thing. But still, it is a good classic show, classic Western. Yeah. I think one way to put it is, sorry, because there are others as well, like Have Gun Will Travel is another one. Have Gun Will Travel, though, follows around a specific bounty hunter on his stuff. The Rifleman is Lucas McCain and his son Mark McCain. He's a widower, so he's raising the son alone. That's part of how you get the morality play stuff. But it's also, that kind of family nature as well, where he's trying to raise his son to be as good and moral man as possible. But it's having to do it alone. They have the ranch that they have to take care of all that, but it's also, like, anytime that the marshal of the nearest town, whenever he needs help, Lucas comes to help. Alright. Cut plants all the way up. Cancel. What? I do not understand why it's giving cancel as a thing here. I need to be able to cut these things. No, that... This is very badly designed here. I can barely see. I think that's... yeah. Okay, I think it's confused because some of it is, like, actually ready. Here we go. Because that's still growing. I was like, that is so stupid. And why? I don't know why. Yeah, you should be able to just have an emergency thing as well, where we'll just get people to respond because, hey, it's an emergency. Anyway, I would put the Riflemen kind of at the level of the black and white Gunsmokes. When it went to... Gunsmoke ran 19 years. And it did make the change to color at one point. And it... Not to say that it wasn't a good show even then. But it's just... I think there's more consistency with it being a good classic Western, which in many cases means it is a morality play. That with Gunsmoke, that was largely, you would see that still in the black and white days. Color definitely had some good stuff, but at the time they went to color, you also had some that was more comedic in nature than morality play in nature. It's also blight is something they should be recognizing as well, so they should be able to, like, not need to be told this one and this one and this one. I can't tell if that's shadow or blight on that one. It does seem like that's the only place left. Yeah, Harvest is at 2. Cut Plants is at 1. Oh my god. What the heck? Okay. There. Yeah, it's like Bonanza also has some morality play episodes, but a lot of that is also comedy, and that was even like near the beginning for that. But Gunsmoke, definitely a lot of it was morality plays in the beginning. Rifleman is more consistently morality plays. Some also dramas that are not so much morality plays, but yeah, there is just a certain level of consistency with the Rifleman that I rather like, because it is essentially Lucas McCain is a very moral man. So he, I just thought one thing kind of funny in a certain sense, then he is like a Superman. And he actually was in one episode of Superman playing Mr. Superman. Like that was his Chuck Connors was Mr. Superman. His last name was Superman. Yeah, that's a weird episode. But yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. Good, your level is increasing. I was holding shift, hoping it would select all and just like add. No. Oh god, the number of ways this could use such refinement, such quality of life is so frustrating. But yeah, so I'm, oh goody. It actually finished pulling off first disc. Yay. You know what? This doesn't need to be a long one. And I do want to get to working through the discs. So let's just, why not stop it now? And it's also kind of neat because I started it pulling the disc off not long before I started recording. And actually, Make Him Give does actually say, yeah, it took about 30 minutes. It was predicting 40, so I do like that Make Him Give gets that wrong so often. But yeah, this is gonna be lots of fun going through. Especially because, I mean, it's like I said, I am surprised these do appear to be like, you know, new in the box, just an old box essentially. And I'm actually thinking I will be ordering some other stuff like that before long, because I don't trust when stuff may suddenly cease to be available. Because I mean, you never really know. It's not like they broadcast, "Hey, if you want to get it now." Nobody does that. All right. So that is going. Happy New Year. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else to mention, but nothing really coming to mind. This is still kind of a chug. Hopefully, Titan Quest 2 comes. I'll get that. Oh, if anyone's wondering why, because I do talk about Titan Quest 2, and I want to go over to that, and that's more for a me thing than just reviewing. Why I'm not interested in Path of Exile 2. I never cared for Path of Exile 1 that much, mainly because of the seasonal stuff. I mean, it's like I want to be able to just sit and play at my own leisure. So the seasons changing things in that, it doesn't work for me. Also, I do remember one time I was playing, and I started the character on a, what is it, hardcore? Whatever that is, where once you die, you push down into a lower tier. And say, I'm going along, I'm pretty powerful. And then this one enemy just absolutely nuked me. And it's like, what? I looked back and figured out what it was. I don't remember why it necessarily was that I had a recording. But looking at the video, the thing had something called Frost Nova on it. And it basically would just be an AoE attack, 360-degree attack around it, that was not only very powerful on its own, but it had like a 0.1 second refresh on it. And it's like, what the hell is this aside from guaranteed death to anyone with melee? I'd never encountered it before, and it's like, this is bullshit. Why would I bother with this mode? It's not like I can't handle. It's not like I like, okay. This technically isn't, but I do kind of relate it back to the whole why I hate Dark Souls. Part of the reason I hate it is because of how it has influenced the industry, making developers think that, oh, that's what players want. It's like, no, that's bullshit. I hate that. I hate this idea that I can't run up, can't come across a fight and be able to actually win without having studied everything beforehand. All right, I don't want to do research like that. And I also consider death a failure. So it's not like, oh, well, you're supposed to try multiple times, die, and then just come back. It's like, no. Death is failure. Okay? It shouldn't be we plan on you dying. That's nonsense to me. So anyway. Path of Exile, kind of nonsense to me, because it's like, oh no, you were just supposed to know that it would murk you like that, even though you've never encountered this before. And now you've also been pushed down to a low level because of that. It's like, no, that's nonsense. Why would I waste my time on this? I mean, the gameplay itself seemed fine for the original Path of Exile, but it's like, why would I be interested in Path of Exile 2 when it's like, no, this isn't fun because I can just be destroyed without warning. And it's also going back to the Dark Souls thing. I hate some of the dodge stuff and stamina systems that some games have now because of that. I mean, in a way, I just dislike dodge because, at least for the way that worked, from my memory of when I played through those games, in that I much prefer, I'm a conservative player, so I much prefer, no, I will just move, change my position. I want to be able to do that, just I'm moving around, controlling my distance and angles that way. Versus, it seems, some of that is designed where, no, it is targeted on you. There is no angle, there is no distance, none of that is relevant. You have to hit dodge at the right time. I hate that design. And I know Dark Souls isn't completely like that, but it just felt like, no, you're always supposed to rely on a dodge. So you can expend your stamina very rapidly having to use that versus why can't I just step out of the way? And when occasionally needed, do a dash type thing out to the side. Anyway. At least, I don't have to worry about that too much because I just try to avoid Dark Souls games. Sometimes, yes, I do have to review them. Like, I actually don't remember dodge being much of an issue in crap. Dolmen, that's the name of it. That's not a good game. It really isn't. But I don't remember having to dodge too much in that. I just remember other things about that making it not a good game. And that like legitimately is also just not a good game. I can understand people liking Dark Souls. I completely disagree with them. But I can understand that there are certain, well, I should say the larger Dark Souls type of game. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, the Elden Ring, Bloodborne. It's like, I can understand that. I don't want to say that Dark Souls itself is a high quality game. I don't know. I can't make that judgment. But just, I can understand people liking that style of gameplay. I can understand that. Dolmen was actually just a poorly made game with various issues. Yeah. Anyway, I'll stop this. So yeah, only about 35 minutes, so I can keep working through the rifleman here and take care of some other stuff I wanted to do today. So yeah, hopefully next week I'm guessing there will be more news. We shall see. I'll be back to my regular schedule at work at least. So yeah, see you then.